The following podcast is a B&E Network exclusive.
Hi, and welcome to 2 versus 3, a very special episode. Trying out a new kind of show, and we're calling it, for now, 2 versus 3 presents The GOAT. In this episode, we're going to rank the greatest Batman movies of all time, all live action, from the beginning to the end, and eventually decide the winner, The GOAT, greatest of all time.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of arguing on this show.
Yeah, well, that's the idea. We're going to argue it. We're going to debate it. So, just to present them for everybody, we're starting with the 1966 Batman movie with Adam West. Has anyone seen that one?
Yeah, our buddy Whitbread left a copy of it here. For a while, it was like my movie I would put on when I came home really drunk for the bar. I would just throw it on, pass out on the couch. I never really got past the whole like shark scene before I'd pass out.
Sweet ass shark repellent.
That's pretty much the only thing that sticks out in that movie to me.
Actually, I guess I have seen that movie.
All right, do you guys want me to run down them all before we get into them, or just start ranking?
Well, I don't know. What's an easy way to start this?
I think, we're going to start
Can we all agree on a worst just to get that off the bat?
Here's how I'm going to do it. We're going to go 1966 Batman. We don't probably all have a lot to say about that Batman. It was the first one I remember seeing. We'll just talk about them all as we go through, and you tell me what's better or worse than the one.
Can we at least? I think we should agree that it's hard to judge movies made before the 70s. You know, I feel like that movie should get that. Yeah, it was a whole different time. We don't get that. I feel like that movie should just get a pass, and we should start with Keaton.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think that that's the worst one.
No,
I don't think it's the worst one either.
We're just going to start on this one. So we'll just go with thoughts on this. What little bit you've seen of it? Did you like the movie? Did you hate it?
Well, it is what it is, you know? Like, it's set what Batman was. It all starts with Bob Kane's Batman, and what that is, you know?
Like
the original Detective Comics, Bob Kane, but cheesy ass Batman comes to save the day. But the movie and the show, the old Batman fucking show, it's obviously not high art by any means, you know?
Well, I would say it's the only movie out of the ones we're going to discuss today that's at least leaning into being a comedy.
Well, yeah, and it knew that. It knew it was campy.
Yeah, it's campy, and it means to be campy. I mean, I think Adam West knew that's what Steel was. Shark repellent is a fucking funny thing. Like, having a shark bite your leg, whooping out some shark repellent, hanging out with Robin upside down on a helicopter while a submarine disappears. It's pretty funny. They don't... no other Batman movie really has that going.
Yeah, so it's definitely near the bottom of the list, but I'm not going to boldly say what I think is worse than it yet because I haven't thought about that.
I think I know, like, the worst movies with George Clooney.
Well, we'll get to that when we get to that movie, but I just didn't know. We'll start with that one, and I mean, we don't have to say a lot about it now, but if you have any thoughts on it, it's starting at number 1, and we're going to move it up and down as it goes. I doubt it'll stay at number 1, but that's where it begins, just because it's the first we're talking about. After that, I feel like this one probably hangs higher to the list. Tim Burton's 1989 Batman.
Michael Keaton.
Keaton's got it for the win, as far as I'm concerned. Like, that's number 2 on the list of best Batmans. Is Dawn of Justice on this list?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, well then, yeah, Michael Keaton's that's number 2.
I'm
for
worried
best movie.
about
Okay, well,
he's gonna push for fucking Batman.
I haven't seen that one, so it's gonna be hard for me to rank that.
You've never seen 1989?
No, I'm talking about the Dawn of Justice.
Oh yeah, well we'll worry about that. I mean,
yeah, whatever. I'll still rank it low just for what it is.
Yeah, I have a feeling you know that it's not necessarily good. But 1989 Batman, Tim Burton, probably the first Batman you ever saw when you were a kid. All of us, and most listeners.
Yeah, Tim Burton is... He created the Gotham that I grew up on, I guess. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, if fucking Frank Miller gets a staple in Batman lore, then I think that Tim Burton should as well, especially for making like Gotham. Tim Burton created Gotham as far as I'm concerned. Like even the TV show now, where in the show they're trying to maintain this timeless past where it could have been at any point in the past. It's just the past. I think that Tim Burton does a great job at making Gotham the perfect city that would warrant a vigilante like Batman.
Yeah, he definitely captured that borderline steampunk look with the blimps.
There was some
He
steam.
did, yeah.
And
It's steampunk. I
Are
know you hate it, but it
blimps
is.
steampunk though?
And that got, I mean,
No,
yeah.
man, you guys haven't read 1984 because blimps just represent Big Brother and like the watchful eye. That's not steampunk.
No, I understand that.
I get, yeah.
There's steam coming out of the sewers, but it's cold.
Well, it's nighttime in a movie, so there's always.
Yeah,
steam
that's
coming
just
out of
fucking classic.
But yeah, I would definitely say that I like this one more than the Batman 69.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure without doubt that's easily gonna beat 1966.
Michael Keaton in that
Oh,
one
it
there,
is 66.
he
Yeah.
kills. Like I feel like some of the scenes with him in the Batmobile, there's a lot of casualties.
Yeah, but what do
Well,
Yeah,
him as Bruce Wayne is
It's a good Bruce Wayne. in
he
my
does
opinion.
the Playboy, like
Clueless Playboy.
the clueless Playboy. That's a
Oh
great
man,
way to
yeah,
put it.
no, he does. He's just like talking about like all the wine or champagne he has in the storeroom there, and
Like I think he's probably the least tough Batman.
Definitely, Michael Keaton's not a tough looking man.
okay, I was reading a scale and it had like all the heights of the actors playing Batman, and Michael Keaton is like borderline a midget. He's like
He's not a- yeah,
5'5".
he's not a big guy. Especially in comparison to someone like Ben Affleck or some shit. I'm sure he's not very big. But-
Fucking, he's
All right,
a
it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. Does he shoot someone in that movie? Does he have a gun?
Not that I remember.
I don't really remember either. But
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think so.
anyway, so Michael Keaton, I would say, great Bruce Wayne, not a very good Batman.
I
Suit
agree.
didn't look very good. Backgrounds look pretty good in my
That was
opinion.
like when Batman couldn't move his neck.
Yeah.
No, but that's every.
That was for a
Batman
while.
until a little.
Yeah.
As far as this list goes, it's gonna be a while before Batman can move his fucking neck. Like,
Not that long.
yeah, I promise as we go through this, it's longer than you think.
There's got to be 4 Batman movies where he can move his neck.
No, wasn't that a Christian Bale
there's-
thing?
Yeah, it's a Christian Bale.
Yeah,
thing.
so that's 3 plus 1, so that's 4.
no, but it's not
No,
till
that
the
was the
second
second
Christian
one.
Bale. So there's been 2.
Oh, really? And it wasn't even to the second one you
Yeah.
can do that?
It's a
Oh,
pop one.
yeah.
We'll get
All
to it.
All right, what's
So
next?
all right, we're all agreeing on the 1989 Batman. Tim Burton's first Batman movie is better. So our 1 and 2 as it stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. All right. So the next one, Batman Returns.
So that's Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer. So,
Catwoman.
yeah, you got
I
Danny
think
DeVito being
Dane
the
De-
Penguin.
Yeah, this one definitely stands out more.
I was gonna say,
because like I was born in 1991, so like all these movies were introduced to
I
me
think there's-
kind of at the same time up
Yeah, you're-
until like Batman and Robin.
Is this one of those rare movies where the sequel is better than the first one?
No.
You don't think
Not
so?
in my opinion. The 89 one is better. That's, I mean, don't be wrong, Danny DeVito.
No, I really
is
liked
fun.
I liked the characters and the casting.
I
thought
was
the-
going to say, yeah, but it could be because you're right. We were
But who
older.
is Batman in that one?
That's Keaton.
It's still Keaton again.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought so.
Just to throw this out, in the new episode, well, not the new episode, but one of the new episodes of Gotham, Bruce is like living on the streets with Selena Kyles, and Selena has like, she's rocking like a leather coat and she has goggles on, and the goggles is like a toss out to like the more modern idea of Catwoman
Yeah,
with
like
the
the
goggles. But
I
anyway,
wouldn't say modern.
well, I mean, the
I would say
goggles
the more
seems like everything.
vintage. Like
Is
that's,
it?
that's like a 70s Catwoman look. I think.
see, it
Are
is,
you
but
thinking
now
of Michelle
it's.
Pfeiffer? Like that's
Well,
like
no,
No,
well,
you're talking about goggles.
I'm talking about the goggles, but every image now of fucking Catwoman is Catwoman with goggles. So maybe you're
I think
right.
It's kind of a throwback.
Oh, well, you're right. Whatever. But anyway, in the new episode there, Selena tears her leather jacket and she comes running in. It's cold outside. She's like, "Where's my jacket?" And Bruce is sewing it. And he's like, "Oh, I was sewing your jacket," and gives it to her. And it's like white stitching on this like leather jacket, and it's like a big stitch, and she like runs her hands up, and she's like, I like it. And it's just neat. She's wearing goggles, and then it's a toss out to, well, I guess as many fucking cat women as possible.
Cat women.
That's the dream.
Yeah. Shout out to the cat women.
I do like that Catwoman though. Like
Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah, no, she's great. And the way they tell the story, I think it's probably my favorite Catwoman.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was
Like the scene of her being covered in cats in the alleyway,
Christopher
that
Walken?
sticks out.
Yeah, and we don't have that, like, we talked about MacGuffin in the last podcast we recorded. Like, what's her face in Dark Knight Rises?
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway is driven, like, I don't get her drive through that whole thing. It's like, oh, I'm going to get this thing that,
no,
that
she's
just
so
fixes
hard to
all my
believe.
problems. Like, her drive is ridiculous to me in that. But Michelle Pfeiffer's just like, you're a crazy
So
bitch.
I would probably rank this one above all so far.
Really?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Oh man, I'm surprised. I'd put up a bit of a not a big stink about.
So no,
that,
well,
but-
hold on. Let's just give me a refresher. What happens in the first Michael Keaton movie? That's with the Joker, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Joker. That's
Yeah,
Jack
with
Nicholson's Joker.
Jack Nicholson.
Which we didn't even mention when we.
Yeah,
talked
I know.
about it,
We
but
kinda
yeah,
just
we
brushed
kinda
over that.
brushed over that.
Because you know what?
That's the Joker.
That
So
is
Heath
the
Ledger.
Joker. You know what? I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna say that as of the standing, I'm gonna say that's number 1. This is fucking tie for number 2. It's close to.
See, I'm going to be bold and say that I liked Heath Ledger more than Jack Nicholson.
Oh, no, that's not bold. I stand behind that.
Okay.
No, but I just
As
I
maybe-
still think the '89 Batman's better than the Batman Returns.
Yeah, man. That's Jack Nicholson as a Joker is the live action Joker.
So I think you're kind of the deciding vote on this, Greg.
Yeah, which one's better? Is it
1 or 2?
Yeah, Batman, like Tim Burton's Batman.
Oh,
1
it's
or
hard
Batman
because I need something else. I need something else from each of those movies. Like, what's another good scene from the first one?
2? It's the art house scene that I think it was him spray painting like
Jack Nicholson dancing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good scene. Okay, what's another good scene from the second one there?
Every scene with Danny DeVito.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything with Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
He's the
That's
Penguin.
hard though.
Danny DeVito being the Penguin is one of the best
All right,
castings of all
let's-
time.
yeah, that's a weird thing. It's like we all love Danny DeVito. We're all big It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fans. So that and Jack Nicholson is that, or Jack like as one of the greatest roles that he's ever done. I don't know.
Oh, that's hard.
It's up to you.
I'm just
Jared.
staring out the window. All right, I'm gonna go classic Jack Nicholson. I think.
Is
Well,
as
like
number
I
one.
I won't put up a stink if
No,
you guys
because to
agree
be honest,
that
I think that the
We're
reason.
gonna have more.
No, there's gonna be
things
more,
coming up
but
as it
I'm
is.
gonna
Oh
say-
yeah, so we're
my
just
defense
starting.
though is the reason why was that even the creators knew that Jack Nicholson pulled off the Joker so well that they had to pull out all the stops with Danny DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Christopher Walken to fill the rest of the villain roles in that movie. You know, like that's a solid cast. Like you needed 3 people to substitute the Joker. I'm gonna go. Yeah, the Joker is going to be the number 1.
It's always great when, honestly, anything with the Joker is kind of better than most things with just Batman, right? Like,
Yeah.
Well, he's the ultimate villain.
He's the ultimate villain.
It's
He's
hard.
More enjoyable to me.
Well,
in
he's the
everything
ultimate
he's in.
villain in Batman's universe.
Yeah, and really just in most things to me, like I really just like the Joker.
Chaos
Yeah, and
embodied.
I love it when any portrayal of him's on screen. I'm interested to see what Jared Leto's going to be like.
Well, your list is just the live action movies because we could
because
have.
otherwise it's going to get too.
We could argue what's the best well, you know, we could even what's the best like Batman story. But even still, before this, we were just watching Assault on Arkham. You know, there's a lot of good animated movies right now too. But yeah, we're digressing. There's just a lot of versions of the Joker.
For sure, and I mean, there's a lot of Batmans. Like we could do this for comics and everything. That's why I had to narrow it down to just the movies, live action, because you got it. Batman's everywhere.
The greatest of.
It's hard to do.
It's
Your
hard.
favorite Batman T-shirt.
Yeah. I like the old school logo, but I like it when the yellow is just a little crackly.
All right, what's your next movie on the list?
So the next one to come out, and now we're getting into the deep dark shit, is the Schumacher movies.
So
Starting
you're going in chronological order.
Yeah, that's how we're starting. 1995's Schumacher, Batman Forever.
That's with
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer as
Jim
Batman,
Carrey.
Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie.
There's highlights of this fucking movie.
Yeah, there
and
are,
it's the
man.
villains.
And then
in
who
my
plays
opinion.
Two-Face again?
Fucking Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah.
There's some good shit in this movie. Man, some of my favorite toys were from this movie.
Yeah,
Oh
but
yeah, these are the toys I grew up
see, Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones, in my opinion, brilliant actors. Not very good jobs in that movie.
with. No, I think they do a fine job. That
Maybe-
movie gets a lot of grief because of its direction, and
That's what I was gonna say. Maybe the direction was poor.
yeah,
Because
it's,
man, Jim Carrey as the Riddler is actually like I would like to see that again.
that is the Riddler.
Okay,
to me.
well, imagine if fucking what's his face, Christopher Nolan, put Jim Carrey as the Riddler in his series as a villain
It would have been
with that kind of direction. That would have been really
man.
cool.
And you know Jim Carrey can pull off that type of shit.
and he can act. I think.
Yeah,
in my
you know, I don't know. That was good. That though is definitely gonna fall. I would say easily number 4 on this rank. We don't even have to
Well,
argue.
do you think this is worse than 66?
Yeah, we don't even have to argue.
Really, I no. See, I'll put up an
I'll say number 3. Yeah, it's not the worst. Val Kilmer
I wanna talk
doesn't do
about
a
it
good
for-
job.
So have we
bother
decided
ranking
that 66 is probably gonna be the worst?
No, I
No.
don't think so. No. We'll get to that.
Greg
I wanna
hasn't
say-
even
I wanna say
started
my piece
yet.
with this movie before I move on.
No, that's good, man.
Like, I honestly, Jim Carrey is not perfect in this. Tommy Lee Jones isn't, like, we see a better Two-Face later on, you know. But
Yeah.
I liked this movie as a kid. I really did.
Well, to compare the
I know
two,
that as an adult, it's bad, but I liked it then.
because this focuses more on Two-Face. The other movie, we get to see Harvey Dent become Two-Face. and
Yeah,
they-
that's not a thing you really get to see in
This is just like we're introduced to this villainous. There's no redemption in sight for
and-
this Harvey Dent.
But I do like Tommy Lee Jones, but I only
But
really like him.
and you know
like
what,
character
Val
thing.
Kilmer, at the
Bad.
time he was but he was kind of it was a good choice. Like he was really popular. He's fucking big at the time. He's really short. And
Is
his
he
ru-
short? Is
yeah,
that another short Batman?
Yeah, he had a rubber suit.
Well, they all had rubber
Yeah,
suits.
that's weird. I don't know. His stands out even more though. Doesn't he? Oh, it's because he peels
That
his off.
movie, that movie's probably the one I watched the least in my
Doesn't
entire
he-
life.
Really? I think it's the one I watched the most.
I like the music from that movie though.
Was that Kiss by a
Dang it.
Rose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
Kiss from a
man.
Rose or
Yeah,
whatever?
whatever.
Seal?
Yeah.
Seal.
Yeah.
So-
that was a damn good soundtrack.
That yeah, man.
I-
Okay.
that was the
had
one
that-
that stood out.
Wait,
And I had that as a CD.
There was like one night I come home, Cody and I were drunk, and I'm like sitting on the computer and talking, and like Matt Hall fucking posts just Seal Kiss by a Rose. So I like put it on, and then Cody and I are sitting there listening to Seal Kiss by a Rose. And then like I look on the computer, like someone else messages Matt and is just like, oh man, I'm listening to Kiss Seal by a Rose. And I just like realized that it's just like all because of one movie. It's like 4 a.m.
Sealed by a Rose.
Yeah, whatever. Seal Kiss.
Sealed.
Whatever the fuck it's called.
I know that was a small flub, but
Oh
it was
man,
so funny.
we're all just fucking sitting around and listening to that song. A bunch of grown men just rocking it. Batman. You know what? That's not the worst movie.
So,
not the worst.
are we going to agree better than 66?
Yeah.
But that's where it stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
like,
say number 3 then.
honestly, I put it. Mine, looking at the list, I'd probably have 66 over Batman Returns, but I mean, you guys definitely don't seem to have much love for 66 Batman.
Yeah.
So I get that it's
It
at the
is
bottom
what it
now. I'm
is,
not
but I
gonna
just
let.
don't
I'm not
care.
gonna stand it as it being the worst because it's fucking not. We're gonna get on the worst here in a second. but-
Okay.
So all right. So everybody, right now we're leaving it. The first Tim Burton one, 1989 Batman, is number 1. Then number 2 is we're going with Returns still, and it not Batman Forever, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, the
Returns.
order of the movie is so far, and then 66
And
at
then
the end.
66 at the bottom. All right, I understand, but I
Disagree.
I disagree. I like the campiness in 1966 Batman, but that's me. I just like that there's one fucking comedy in the mix of it.
It is what it is.
Batman's not supposed to be a comedy.
All right.
No.
Well, do you guys want to take our first break here briefly here at the middle of this, right before the real dark shit happens, or a little bit after and the light's peeking out?
Bat nipples.
There's bat nipples.
Speaking of
all
dark
over this
shit, we're going to have an ad from Scary as Shit.
All right, we'll be right back. Thanks.
Awesome. I'm
That
going to
sounds
check
great.
that
I mean-
out later.
There's nothing about that I dislike.
Actually, I don't think she's listened to episode yet.
It's so good.
It's still scary,
It's-
right?
It makes me uncomfortable.
Scary as shit.
New episodes every Tuesday. A B&D Network podcast. Scary as shit. We're not that scary.
All right, and we're back. So, in the middle of ranking all the greatest Batman live action films, as it stands, we have it as 1989. Tim Burton's Batman is number 1. Batman Returns is number 2. Batman Forever, number 3. And Batman 1966 is dragging at the bottom, which I'm not going to stand for, especially after this next.
Well, like, man, don't use the word dragging, because it's not dragging. It's just there's up until what year did you say?
What do you mean?
What was the lot? When did the Val Kilmer movie come out?
The Val Kilmer one. So Batman Forever is 1995.
So it wasn't until after 1995 that Batman started getting really bad.
Well, no, it only really gets bad once after that.
Wow. Well, that's where we're going to argue. But you're right. It doesn't start getting shitty till now. Now being
I
after
feel like
1995.
the 66 Batman isn't getting a lot of love because we weren't really born when that came out. We don't have any nostalgia for it.
Sorry, I was just listening with the headphones. I can't do it.
Yeah, mine.
Well, I can just tell it just sounds like way too different for me than for you guys.
Whatever. So go on. Just bust it out. Let's finally name drop. Fucking, what's the next Batman movie? You're like Alfred over there withholding information.
1997, Batman and Robin, directed by Joel Schumacher. Again, George Clooney is Batman.
Okay, you know what? The one thing I will say, because not to go too far ahead, is the one good thing that this movie did better than the other fucking Batman movie was it did a better version of Robin than the fucking Joseph Gordon-Levitt cockamamie.
See, as
My
much
name
as
is
you
Robin.
guys want to make fun of this movie was my Batman movie.
This is your Batman movie?
Growing up, this
I
was my
understand.
Batman
Nostalgia is
movie.
a strong player in this.
And like
whole
this
thing.
was the one that I owned on VHS and watched every night.
Yeah, you really
Yeah.
like Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, it's going to get chilly.
Yeah, see,
Oh,
you
man.
like the campy from like the early 60s, and you like a whole different type of camp.
No, well, I get it. It's the 90s. Like, Schumacher kind of brought that back. I mean, people judged him for at the time.
What are
but
other
I mean-
Schumacher films?
Oh, man. I don't know.
Fucking know.
I should probably know.
Well, I mean, just to put it in context, like, because these movies are kind of bad, and I mean, I want to know, like, were there other movies that I liked, or do I not like this guy? You know?
Well,
like, let's get a solid, because fucking George Clooney was. I like George Clooney.
the bat nipples.
The bat nipples, fucking the bat credit card. Yeah, I did not like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He doesn't belong in these movies. But you know what? Batgirl. I like that they tried to do a Batgirl. I like that they
Alright.
tried to do a Robin.
Joel Schumacher, also known for The Lost Boys in 1987.
See, that's all right.
The Phantom of the Opera in 2004. Phone Booth in 2002.
He did phone booth.
Falling Down in 1993.
Falling Down was good.
Trespass 2011. The Number 23 in 2007.
That was all right.
So with
Falling Down
Jim
was a great
Carrey
movie.
on that one. None of those movies really stand out to me as being fucking good.
No.
I don't know, the Batman movies. I don't know. This movie is fun because it's stupid as fuck.
'Kay,
Like, I
but-
can watch it and enjoy it because it's so
Yeah.
dumb.
Alfred dies in this movie.
Does he actually die or does he just get really sick? He gets
No.
like the.
Alfred just gets really sick and
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
shit
Doesn't the
gets
actor
scary.
die though?
Oh no, he died later.
The
Yeah,
actor
but
might
I mean,
have died, yeah.
I thought he died, and that
Doesn't
was
die.
why Batgirl fucking chimes in at the end.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man.
What he has McGregor's disease in this. I think that's what it's called.
But at the end, though, don't they have like a shout out to the actor who actually passed away?
Oh, maybe.
I don't think so. I don't know. The whole silver and black Batman outfits at the end of this is super bad. Like, not in the cool movie,
See,
super bad.
I
Cool.
love Arnold Schwarzenegger, and for some reason, people hate him as Mr. Freeze. And to me,
Oh, no, he's
me,
good.
he's a
Yeah.
perfect Batman villain. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
There was a lot of toys
Yeah.
in this one too, actually.
Oh yeah, there was. Yeah,
I
had some of
had a
these.
bunch of toys for that movie. Yeah,
And
Yeah.
they were. I mean, they're Batman toys that you get when you're a kid. You love them, even though the
and you
movie
played
might not
with
be
them
good.
a bunch. You definitely take them out of the packaging.
And this
Yeah,
is
I
the thing that I'm
was-
going to bring up. That doesn't have a lot to do with the movies ranking, but you know, commercials for all action figures back in the day look really cool. Like they'd have the Batmobile smashing through a bunch of like ice colored blocks and like being
where do you get those?
Blocks not provided. Like that
Exactly.
kind of thing.
Every advertisement would have shit that would make it so fun to play with, like a jungle scene. No, your mom. Actually, my mom was pretty awesome. She would make me shit like jungle scenes and all that.
Man, my dad would make me like, hey, here's a car lot. This is how you like, rank. You put your cars in this color, and this one's newer. That's as much as he got. Like if I had some Hot Wheels, that's how I ranked them. But no one's making me a fucking jungle scene to have a Batman fight in.
Anyways, those toys were great.
So that's another thing, actually. Jungle scene, Poison Ivy, Uma Thurman,
Yeah, I thought.
sexy Uma Thurman.
What?
If you could ever consider.
I
her
also
sexy.
I also like the Bane. That's my Bane too.
See, I don't. That's
Compared
not
to
my Bane.
the new Bane,
Nah,
that's
see,
my Bane.
The comic book Bane is my Bane. It doesn't. They don't get it right in this. He's not
Physically,
smart.
Bane, yeah, he looked cool and like
Yeah,
that part was all good.
but he was a fucking idiot.
yeah, he's supposed to be Batman's greatest like tactical adversary.
Yeah, he's supposed to be pretty smart. At least not not necessarily like. I wouldn't say he's like Ra's or Ra's al Ghul smart, but he's smart.
He was supposed to be like next to Batman, one of the greatest tacticians.
Okay, well, if that's how the comics in like the 80s did it, then that makes sense. Or
Yeah,
is that
I
a
get
modern
it. It's like
thing?
we're thinking like Nightfall Batman.
No,
right?
but that's not that old.
like for the comic.
Yeah, Batman Nightfall.
Bane was supposed to be like an Argentinian prisoner who
I'm sure there's multiple versions of him
I don't know about that.
in the skewed
Yeah,
universe
I-
we're talking about.
I mean, yeah, that's every Batman character, including Batman. There's multiple
Yeah.
fucking. We can't get into that. But I mean, yeah, the one I think of is the like Greg's saying, like
no,
the smarter
yeah,
Batman,
he
or smarter.
his
Bane.
father was a war criminal or something, and he had to serve a life sentence, and it wasn't when he died. His son has to serve out the rest of the life sentence. It doesn't even make.
I
any
think
sense.
that sounds like.
Well, someone we haven't even talked about yet is George fucking Clooney.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. God.
I like George Clooney though.
I like
me some
George Clooney.
but he's what every
See, if
person in the year this came out would have said, oh, he should be Bruce Wayne, and ended up being the worst fucking Bruce Wayne possible.
If that movie was directed by the Coen brothers,
Oh, that would have been funny. Then you would have had your weird comedy Batman. That would have been great.
and it would have been like not ironic to laugh
Yeah.
at it, you know?
Yeah, it would have not necessarily been it would have been Coen Brothers. Yeah.
The funniest Batman that I can think of, and the only time Batman should be funny, was reading Cacophony or whatever the fuck it was called.
Like
Yeah,
the
Kevin
Kevin Smith
Smith.
one?
Yeah, Kevin Smith. And what was the other one? There was two of them.
A Widening Gyre
Yeah.
or Gyre.
Gyre. Yeah.
Both of those fucking titles, Cacophony and the Widening Gyre. I think it's the Widening Gyre.
Yeah.
I think that's an
I
expression.
have no idea what that
Yeah,
word means.
illustrated
I
by
should look
Walt
that up.
Flanagan.
Yeah. But those were humorous. Like, there were points where I chuckled in that. Like, just some of the lines.
Like
were-
Batman, like
there was like
using weed or
yeah,
like,
there were
poison ivy
lines.
gets him stoned or
There
whatever.
were lines in that reminded me of like a '60s version campy Batman, but then when put into actual context, it was like Batman is just being very literal, but it was still really it came across as funny. You know, like that's the only time Batman should be funny.
They've never really found a good medium between the two, right? Like I like my Batman to have the occasional nod
Some
of,
writers
this
have.
is fucking ridiculous. Like let's recognize the fact that this guy's beating people up and it's a little silly. Also being a serious
you-
story, it's hard to find a middle.
You should ignore that.
Of what
Okay,
I said.
anyways, how are we gonna rank this one?
That's tough. I don't know.
I
We
would
gotta
put
get into it,
I
guess.
would put this one below Batman 88.
Or no, well, okay. 89. you mean
89.
Tim?
I'm sorry, 89.
So
The
that's
first
number
one.
one we have it standing on right now is 89. So right now, just to run it
Yeah,
down,
yeah, I
89 is
would.
Batman, then it's Returns, then Forever, and then 1966 Batman. You're saying this is the second best
No,
Batman
okay,
ever.
I'll put it behind Batman Returns.
I'm putting this at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
say
my
this at
opinion. This is the
bottom.
worst.
It's the most offensive. For now,
I get it that it's funny and it's fun to look back at its hystericalness, but not in the same way that 1966 Batman is. It's not. It doesn't
No,
recognize
okay,
that it's campy in my opinion.
Can we
It's just bad.
compromise and put it above 66?
I won't stand for that right now. No, I'm not gonna end
Yeah.
up with this being fucking the
See,
worst.
Greg agrees to
yeah,
that.
because
No, I think that's valid.
I like Alfred in that movie a lot.
No, we have connections to that film growing up watching that, where we don't have connections to Batman 66.
I do. I watched that one when I was young.
I
I
feel
think that one is funny and like ridiculous in a totally different way that I enjoy a lot. And this I enjoy now as I've gotten older, but not as much as going back. If I had to go back and watch them for their fucking funniness, I'd watch the 66 Batman. And if that's what we're
I think
ranking it
again,
on,
you're the deciding vote, Greg.
Well, now I just got some like awful nostalgia where it was.
Well, I think that's a big key.
oh, it's definitely a key.
Okay, well then if we're gonna play the
Yeah.
awful nostalgia, then I think this movie should be ranked last because everybody that I can think of that is just, oh, I don't really care much for Batman, but my favorite Batman movie is, they always say this one, and it's
Is
just,
this their favorite?
yeah, and they
Oh.
quote Arnold and fucking George Clooney and all the wrong like. If you guys were to quote it, I'd be like, I get it. You guys didn't know that that's stupid. But other people just don't. And they're like, well, why doesn't Batman just use his credit card? And he's like, I'm going to.
Yeah, there's a fucking
cut
back
you.
credit card in this. Granted, shark repellent. Yeah, that was. I get it. They're both stupid.
No, you know, and then
No,
it's like, now
the
you're
point
right. When
is
I,
that it's campy.
Yeah,
They knew it
when I
was.
see that, it's like it's a toss up that those are the two worst Batmans for now.
I don't know. We're gonna find out what the worst is by the time we're
So
done. but-
how are we gonna sit with this last one?
All right. Well, my opinion is it rests above or right below. It's the worst that we have currently. That's my
Yeah, I'm going to say worst.
All right, well, I guess you guys veto me.
opinion. All right. So, 1999 Returns, Forever, 1966, and then Batman and Robin
Things are about to
is
get dark.
bringing out the bottom. Now we're getting
There's
to
no way we're ever gonna decide on a final list.
No, because
Well,
we
that's
already
what-
none of
there's
us
a-
already agree on this list.
Well, no, we'll hash it out and we can move things up and down if we really have a fair argument for it. I mean, there's three of us. It's a nice thing about three.
All right, well, what's next?
Batman Begins. Chris Nolan's debut Batman film.
Batman ends.
2003.
He says Batman
Chris,
ends.
Chris Nolan.
That's a fucking good movie in my opinion.
I like this movie. I didn't like it really that much when it came out.
Me neither. I didn't give a fuck for it when it came out.
I was so fucking excited for
I was
these
so
movies.
over Batman.
I
See,
didn't.
you got too excited. You got overhyped.
You were actually super pumped when this came in the theaters. I
Yeah,
wasn't.
like pre-came, I guess.
Yeah, you were so, but I don't remember you being that into comics when this first came out. Like it wasn't. This didn't have as much hype as I think people like to think it had when it first came out.
I don't know. I think I was really into this when it came out.
So 2003 is what I have down.
I used to really like
See,
Christian
I was too
Bale.
cool for comic book anything when that came out.
It's a pretty good. It's
I was a
lot
punk rock
longer.
dirtbag.
Yeah, I really wasn't stoked. I saw it the day it came out, but I wasn't stoked to do it. And this was, like kind of that middle ground between I was really into it as a kid and then when I became into it as a teenager, or like early adult.
No, I was super pumped for this. I had a huge man crush on Christian Bale at the time. He was like my, it was
Would you watch The Machinist and got off on his fucking scrawny ass
fucking Reign of Fire, Equilibrium.
See, this is like my introduction to Christian Bale was this movie. I really
No,
hadn't
no.
seen much with him.
I was all about the Bale. And he let me down. I mean, that wasn't my Batman. This is gonna get so deep now. If those movies were set in a way later time frame, not Batman Begins, but literally Batman Ends, that Christian Bale would be the Batman I want to see. Angry
Well, they tried
and,
to do that with the
really
last one.
narrow-minded.
Oh, where it gets Dark Knight Returns-y?
If the conclusion of that with Dark Knight Returns was Batman was going to activate an army of bat robots, I mean, I would have been.
That's not
behind
the
that.
name of it.
Dark Knight Returns-y?
Dark
I
Knight
meant-
Rises.
No, I know. I meant like the Dark Knight Returns, the comic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
Like get into that,
Oh,
that
yeah.
era of things. Like where you're like it's an older, beat up Batman, and that's where Batman Begins started.
Well, you almost want to say that like the Batman that was in Dawn of Justice, that type of character where he was a broken man and he lost a Robin and done some shit, that character would have been easier to work out for Christian Bale, I think. Where if that Christian Bale, he just carried around a little anger and loss that I don't know that Batman should. They tried to play it off with a couple of scenes with him with hookers and shit and
what?
Russian ballet dancers.
No, that's not in this movie.
The
They don't
Russian
do any
ballet dancers?
No, that's in Dark Knight. They show him with ballet dancers only because he's on the boat and he takes the Russian
Russian
ballet with him.
hookers.
They never play him off as like
He
the
paid them
Playboy
for
Batman
money,
in any of these movies. He's the
No, they
he's
do.
the Batman through and through guy.
Are you talking about the Christopher Nolan movies?
Yeah.
No, he's definitely a playboy, man. He arrives on the rooftop at Harvey Dent's fucking party with two fucking babes.
That's in Dark Knight.
Like,
Again, not in this movie, but I get what you're saying. But they never portray him as ever enjoying any of that.
no, that's always just him putting up a front.
Yeah,
which is Batman.
Is Batman.
Yeah.
Where I feel like
that movie when it came out, it meant nothing to me for some reason. But like after I watched the sequel to that, I went back and I kind of enjoyed the story of learning how Batman learned his discipline.
all right,
But the fact that they didn't really touch on the detective shit, is what they should have done more.
well, okay, that's fair, but that's a problem with every single one of these films. They never do Batman the detective
Yeah.
ever. It's not a thing. Like as far as the movies are concerned, that's like non-existent. They forget that it's the greatest detective is where they're
Yeah, but
supposed
that's
to come
kind of
from.
like a.
And it always bothered me, specifically with Batman Begins, that Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, or however you want to say it, never calls him the detective.
Which is no, I thought he always called him the Batman. Oh, he
No, he
does always
calls him
call him
the
the detective. Yeah.
Never do that. He doesn't even really call him anything in this because he kind of kills him off early and comes back in the end. But this movie is overrated.
Is it though?
And yeah, it is. It's a fine movie, and it doesn't do it doesn't have the problems that the Schumacher films have, where they're just like silly. It doesn't do that at any point in time, or make fun of Batman, or
No, it was trying to
Make
be
Batman
a
do
very
something he
literal attempt.
yeah.
at
It's
doing
and it's
Batman.
and it's a great opening to what Christopher Nolan eventually does with the franchise.
I literally think that Jason Bourne would have beat up the Dark Knight.
Or you mean in Batman Begins, or?
So
Well, like,
what does that
yeah,
mean?
I mean, I get.
He's a human.
Yeah, but that's not what you want.
What do you want? Big buff fucking Ben
I don't-
Affleck
I
to save the
don't
day?
really-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
we'll get to that. All right, let's.
okay. Let's try to rank this
Here's how
one.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go rating this on just what that movie is and not what that franchise becomes. I'm not giving it a whole bunch of credit. I definitely don't think it's better than Tim Burton's Batman on this list.
I'm putting it number 2.
So below 1989, but above Batman Returns. Remembering
Yeah,
that you
see,
really loved Returns earlier in this and gave it a pretty. You wanted it to be number 1 earlier. Not that that should matter. Like if you're going off the list.
No,
that we
but
have,
I'm just looking at the way that things are now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do agree with that placing for right now. Definitely. Yeah.
Second.
Yeah. I don't think it's better than 89. I think Tim Burton's Batman's better. Greg is,
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna put this like.
crunching his nose up.
Yeah,
there.
it's like down to the bottom to me.
Oh, really? Like you're going Begins where, like below Returns. Below
Like I'm just
Forever?
thinking, like right now, if I had all of these movies and I had to put them in the order that I wanted to watch them in, that movie's gonna be right at the bottom.
Below 66.
Well, yeah, because I'd watch 66 just for something to do.
You don't? Do you really think that lowly of this movie?
I just don't like those movies. I like Two-Face in those movies, and I like Gary Oldman.
like in the
Just not French.
in the Chris Nolan franchise movies.
Yeah, like
We're really going to get into some shit here in a second, Cody. When we get into the Nolan ones, we're about to hit.
like. Okay, you guys are saying like you don't want to see superhero Batman or whatever. You know, you like the down to earth Batman or whatever. That's fine. The down to earth Batman should be a detective. And you're right, no franchise or movie has done this yet. But the one thing that I don't like is tank Batman and armor Batman. And
This
you
movie
remember,
doesn't have that at all.
No.
his fucking like
He's like Ninja Batman.
Yeah,
Ah,
he doesn't
if
really
anything.
ever tank or ninja. Like, yeah, like he's just a regular ass motherfucker for the most part. Of
I
it.
guess that's like later on in these
he doesn't get
movies.
shot in the you. I know where this is gonna come up later. You're saying you don't like tank. Later, Batman gets shot in the back of the head like twice, and that does not happen. It Begins.
Yeah, they just don't even bother explaining that though. That's fine.
Just because. All right, we'll get into it.
No, I
As
don't
the
know.
next movie comes out, Begins. If I'm in for ranking it under 1989 as the second best Batman on the list right now.
Me
Do you
too.
have a
I agree
dispute to
with
move
that.
it up or down? Me and Cody agree. You have a
If you guys
solid
agree-
argument
Well, I
for
feel like
that?
we kind of overruled because
if you guys
No,
agree.
we
you guys
I'll
over.
listen to his argument as to why Returns
Well,
is better.
yeah, but you guys overruled my one that you agreed
Yeah.
on.
No, but I mean, let's just be fair. Like we're going with overruling it when it comes down to certain things. But we had a big list now. Like we'll listen to it as it comes up. So if you really have a reason, if you can explain to me why Batman Returns is better than this, I'll listen to it. You'll listen to it, right, Cody? Like we'll hear it. I doubt you'll win, but I mean I'll hear it. So will the listener.
No. I guess the only reason that I would say that it's better is in my mind's eye, I'm still seeing this really cartoon version of Batman. And so I like the Gotham and the villains more in return.
I get that.
Yeah, you're right. Batman Begins has pretty much no Gotham in it until like the end where Scarecrow
Yeah,
starts fucking
the
shit
universe
up.
isn't built, and it doesn't feel lived in like the
But
Tim Burton
it's a
one.
story
I'll give you
about
that.
Bruce Wayne. It's not a story
I
about
will,
Gotham.
I will, what's the good word? Concede or whatever that fucking they do a fantastic job with Scarecrow. I really like Scarecrow in that.
Yeah, I do too. That's our first lean into.
He's all right.
and a good portrayal. I feel like a realistic portrayal of what those villains are like.
Another thing, okay, that you know what, if for like a real reason why that movie is not that great, is name Batman's love interest, and
Oh yeah, Katie Holmes'
it's
character.
no, not movie. I mean, in general, like Peter Parker has Mary Jane, and fucking Superman has Lois Lane. Who's Batman's fucking girlfriend? He doesn't have one, and so to try to create this fucking girl, and just
Well,
there's
there's a girl in all of them though.
there it doesn't
All
have
the
to
ones
be
we
though.
talked to. Like,
Yeah, but they're all like fucking flash in the pans where he just doesn't give a shit.
well, no,
this,
half
though-
the time it's Catwoman.
This kind of like fucking shaped these stories, and I don't know. I guess that's like the James Bond movie where he like learns to not love because of this. But I don't know. I didn't like this love interest that they had going on in there, and the fact that it had to carry over is just as bad. But I'm not a big fan of that.
Here's what I'm gonna
His
do.
heart was broken. It's like Batman's already wrapped up, and his heart was broken when his parents died. He couldn't love again. My Batman's a philandering fucking whore. He bangs him and leaves him.
Yeah, I didn't give a fuck for Katie Holmes.
No one gives a fuck about Katie Holmes. Tom Cruise never gave a fuck about Katie Holmes.
And he's fucked.
Yeah.
What was? Oh, and
Here's what I'm doing for now. Batman Begins currently sits in what I'm calling our limbo stage right now, in between a couple of things. We're gonna move on to the next movie and figure it out
What do you
after
mean a
this.
limbo stage?
It's
No
right
limbo.
right now. It's between
what are we in
Second or
overtime?
third?
it's between second and third, and we don't know which one.
Wow, what's third?
So it's right now it's 1989. Then we got Begins or Returns is second.
Okay,
and
so
third.
how about this? What do you think is better? Return? Oh, obviously, you think Returns is better. So fuck.
He's talking to me.
We'll figure it out. We got a lot more Chris Nolan shit coming up, so we got to get through Chris Nolan, and we know Greg's opinion on Chris Nolan stuff is low.
No,
at
well,
this point.
I mean, I can rank the Christopher Nolan movies if you want, and then.
Well, no, but right
but
now we're gonna get
find
into it.
out because
We're gonna go to The Dark Knight, which is undoubtedly, in my opinion, the best Batman movie without even anything coming close. In my opinion, it doesn't. None of them come close.
I agree.
it's the best out of the three of them.
It's the best out of the three of them. But I got to hear your opinion for why it's not just the best. Like,
See,
mean,
I don't
I'll get
view
into
that
it.
one as part of a trilogy. I just like that movie.
See, I agree with Cody on this. That's rare. If it's fucking as a standalone, like you ignore the other movies.
See, I didn't even watch it as a superhero movie. I didn't watch it as a DC movie. I didn't
You
watch it
just
as a Batman movie.
come
I watched it
in-
as a movie about discovering what can happen. And I almost watched it as like Batman Begins didn't exist.
Well,
Fair, yeah, because it kind of. I mean, even the one
You know,
continuing
you
character
didn't need
doesn't
it.
even have a
Yeah.
the same
They
actress,
they
yeah.
changed actresses, so
No, I hear you definitely don't need to watch Batman Begins to like this.
but
movie,
as I was
mean.
saying, like fucking Gotham. If Gotham and villains create the Batman's universe, then that movie nailed it. You actually, even the fact that Joker is antagonizing the
Well,
other villains in that movie.
Joker's 100. Joker's 98% why I love that movie.
Well,
Heath
no, but
Ledger.
he establishes
Killed it.
that there's
I
a
would say
Gotham.
though that a good part of that, I really love fucking Two-Face in that movie. He's good.
I didn't give
the
a
villains.
fuck. I didn't give a fuck for that plot line.
No,
I did. I liked it a lot.
I didn't like the girlfriend part of that plot line. Again,
No.
that's fucking stupid.
But they build it up right as to
Or
why.
did you
care
just
about
not
it.
like Maggie Gyllenhaal?
No, but
I-
they use
no,
her
but
really good. In
I don't
this
like
movie.
either of them. I don't like that character.
No,
Yeah,
I think-
it's an
I
unnecessary
disagree.
character.
I think-
Unnecessary character. Like they didn't
No,
need that.
I don't think you're right. I think they use that character really well in this movie.
Man, okay, in other story arcs, Bruce Wayne and Harvey Dent are ready to jerk each other off in the bathroom stall just over saving Gotham.
Yeah,
You want to save Gotham too? They don't need to share a girlfriend. In the story arc, Gotham is their girlfriend, and they can double team her. It's cool.
No, but I honestly think that this adds a different dynamic of like and hate between them. Like you're learning more about Batman as a character because
Batman seems like a little
he's
bitch now
conflicted
that he's going to
between
try to help
liking
him.
Harvey for what he can do for the city and liking or disliking Harvey because he's fucking his girlfriend. That's a realistic add-on to Batman that he doesn't get a lot in the comics. Like just being a fucking eunuch, save the world. I never fuck. I hate not like I only love saving people is a boring ass character.
No, I always liked his twisted relationship with Catwoman.
Well, I like that too. But I mean, this is a good substitute for it.
No,
I mean,
Batman.
it's this twisted relationship of hating the guy who's fucking his girlfriend, but also
that's-
understanding that
what's
he needs
amazing though is that his girlfriend is the city. His love is for his parents,
That's
and
fine.
he doesn't have time. Like he's a broken, fucking angry man. Like
He is very obsessive.
yeah, like he's obsessive as fuck. And yeah, the only woman that he could possibly get along with is another woman that is just as fucked as he is. And if they do ever hook up, it'll be like they're having sex. Will be beating the shit out of someone together, and they'll be like, "Oh man, did you come?" And he'll be like, "Twice," and then they'll go off and like make like a really weird kiss in the rain, and
I can hear you.
that's like he'll go back and Alfred will be like, "How was your night?" And he'll be like, "I got lucky tonight." And it's like he hurt someone with a girl and then kissed her afterwards. And
Nah,
that's
well, if they
his
actually wrote it like
relationship.
that, that would be interesting. But that's never the love interest they give Batman. They do give him the he loves the city and he never fucks kind of attitude, and that's boring. In this, he fucks, and he misses fucking his girlfriend.
I remember when these movies first came out, I had such an issue with Christian Bale's voice. That was such that turned me off so much. But then after a while, I thought that was the most clever move in a superhero movie to date. In a world where your superhero is a fucking playboy, like socialite, people know who the fuck he is. People know his goddamn voice. He's on TV.
oh, see,
He needs to speak differently.
I think the speaking thing is like a Vader or like
An intimidation
a
tactic.
Snoke thing. It's
I'm sure that's a
intimidation.
thing as well, but it's also like covering your identity.
Well, no, but you were
Yeah,
talking
man,
about the.
I speak on this fucking podcast and I worry about the sound of my voice. I can only imagine what
No,
Batman
man,
goes
you
through.
guys are pumping out like the ninjutsu, right? If you're a shadow, if you're a living shadow, you want your voice to be a shadow. Like, you don't see me and I want to sound like I'm coming from everywhere. Like, his whole cape is probably mic'd so that in the shadow when you don't see him, he's standing like full eagle spread, holding his cape up.
His
like,
cape has great acoustics.
yeah, like he's projecting his
does,
voice, like he's ventriloquisting. The Bat ventriloquist, where he's like, yeah,
Has Batman ever thrown his voice?
all the time. He's like, he's probably got batarangs.
He's
that are-
always doing it. Yeah, like,
little batter mics, and he throws them, and he's just like mic in a room.
yeah. It seems like a whole plan for him.
So, Greg, how much do you hate this one?
Can you admit, or can you just accept that this is the best Batman movie?
That's my Joker impersonation of that movie.
I was wondering. I was like,
Okay,
what? I was like, was I
we
doing
know-
that?
We all like just accept that he is a great Joker, right?
He's amazing.
Nah,
He
he's
is
all
the
right.
highlight of that fucking movie. It's absolutely. We don't even need to argue about it. A
The definition of
fantastic
wild
fucking
card.
movie.
It's not the best Joker ever.
Yes, it is. No, it is.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill's Joker is fantastic.
I'd go
in
so
the
far
animated.
as to say one of the best villains ever.
The thing
That's
with
a
Mark
different
Hamill's
thing, though.
Joker
You're right. I
is
might
as
say it's a
great as that
great
voice
villain.
is that we just haven't seen it acted out live, and acting it live is so important to that role. Like, if I could see Mark Hamill dance around like the animated version of him, I would really think then that is the way my imagination.
And like
sees
the whole
Joker play.
shadiness over how this fucking role could have driven him to suicide. That whole like conspiracy, that just adds to how much he killed doing this character.
Yeah,
Like he just fucking rocked it.
It had a mystique to it because of its like out of movie context and just what
and it was our random intro to the Joker, and that's all you need for a Joker origin story is him walking in and just fucking being crazy.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, the whole licking his face thing, like Greg jokes by slapping his chops into the mic
and telling the story differently every time.
Yeah. It was so good. It was just disturbing. It made me feel sick to my stomach.
I was just gonna say, like, disturbing, man. When he takes the pull cue or whatever and snaps it in half, and he tells the two boys that he's only got one opening.
Those are not only the most memorable scenes as in Batman movies. Those are some of the most memorable scenes in cinema.
Yeah, man. So I watched that movie not like a Batman movie or a superhero movie. I just watched it as a movie, and it was great. Like I would say it's like Academy Award worthy or anything like that, but like for what it was, I was highly entertained. It was the Batman I want. Was that your dad, Kyle? We are doing a podcast.
Yeah, you didn't have to call. Thought it was silent. It's a new phone. I didn't know. In fairness, it didn't ring this time. It's all right. Now we gotta.
So me and Kyle are gonna say number one. Greg, are you gonna argue that?
I mean, from here on out, I've already lost every argument. So, like, I'll say that you guys have already vetoed it. So, I mean, the rankings stands. But I'm going to say, just for the sake of my fan base, that no. But I will say that.
But where would you put it?
On my list, this movie would be tied for second with the... see, this movie and the first two Michael Keaton movies, they're like my 1, 2, and 3. And it's a toss-up between them. Because they're all really good.
So you're admitting that it's at least in the top. Like, you're not suddenly putting this one way down at the bottom.
No.
So you put Batman Begins at the bottom, but you say that
this movie's got a lot of fucking bad scenes in it.
It does. I rewatched it recently, and it wasn't what I had it built up to be.
You know, because
like we've talked about it in other podcasts, but obviously that.
If I had all these movies in front of me and I was going to make a list and that I was going to watch them, this movie would probably be near the bottom. When we start talking about some of the greatest scenes from collectively Batman movies, this movie is near the top. You know, when I want to watch it, I feel like I'm not going to enjoy it when I'm sitting there watching it. But in memorying it, yeah, there's just got some of the most memorable fucking scenes.
All right, well,
I don't know what that meant.
We're
the Joker's good in this though, man. Okay, I don't know. Heath Ledger is good. I don't know how I feel about the scars permanently on his face, you know? It was a different clown.
All right. So are we going to agree number one?
Yeah, I'm taking it number one. That's I understand that Greg dislikes it, but I got to give it number one. You agree?
Yeah, I agree. So right now, we're sitting that at number one. I think we should probably take one more break, and then we'll come back. We'll do the final film, and then we'll figure out.
Got two more, actually.
We got two more.
Two more films.
Yeah, I forgot about the new. I haven't seen it, so it's gonna be.
It'll be a toss up in the end. It'll be me and Greg arguing about that one.
All right,
we got one more to go.
We'll figure that out. We'll be back in a second.
Hey, this is Craig Wade
and Brian Allen Delaney from B Movies and Ebooks, a podcast about cult and horror films and genre fiction.
You can catch new episodes on iTunes and Stitcher every Wednesday, or you can watch us live on blab.im Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Central.
B Movies and Ebooks. We bleed fiction.
All right, and we're back. The GOAT. And we did some singing when no one was paying attention. But anyway, we're ranking all the live action Batman movies. We're currently sitting at number one, The Dark Knight, because who the fuck doubted it? 1989, really. Tim Burton's Batman. Greg doubted it, apparently. Right in the middle there, we're still up for debate. It's either Batman Begins or Batman Returns. We'll figure that out as we go along. And then Batman Forever, 1966 Batman, and Batman and Robin, bringing up the bottom. Damn. We have two movies left to do.
I think
it's gonna be a real fucking barn burner in here when it comes to this shit.
Man, I got a cigarette.
I don't think highly of either of these fucking movies.
Greg's so nervous he doesn't know what to like.
Yeah, he's literally holding two vices in his hand, doesn't know which to take first. All right, Next one, The Dark Knight Rises. Not a fucking original title as far as the rest of the series goes. And honestly,
It's the best thing about
bad
the
movie in my opinion.
Yeah, not a good movie at all.
movie. Man, okay. Wow. Man,
You really thought you were going to get a fight for this one, didn't you?
guys, this has only happened twice, I think. I think Cody said we were supposed to cheers every time we all agreed on something.
Oh yeah.
This movie isn't good. We're going to cheers on that.
Bottom of the
whole
list?
thing, and it won't even pick up in the mic probably because we have.
No, we did though. We
Nice.
cheers cans. We recycle.
Yeah, we are green.
But
Some of us more.
I went
than others.
into this with pretty high hopes after
The highest of fucking hopes.
Yeah, after the Dark Knight Returns, or no,
The Dark Knight.
no,
You went into this after either
no.
reading
What was the second one called?
The Dark Knight, the movie.
It wasn't just called The Dark Knight.
Yes, it was Batman: The Dark Knight.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
it.
Batman Begins. Batman
Or
The Dark
actually,
Knight.
never mind. It wasn't even called. It was just called The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. Okay.
was the
Well,
second of
after
the
that,
Nolan
I expected
trilogy.
some great shit. Tom Hardy as Bane, not bad.
No, good in my opinion.
Yeah.
Some audio issues. I wish
Yeah.
they made Bane sound like Kylo Ren sounds.
Really?
Well, I
That's
don't
what
know.
you wanted?
Oh fuck! The way
I think he
Kylo
sounded
Ren
perfect.
sounds so cool, man.
No, I
Really?
I don't
Man,
think he just
I
sounds
agree,
bad.
but I just didn't expect you to say
no,
that.
I like
100%.
So, you know, honestly, Cody, and this is gonna sound kind of mean, but sometimes I actually like forget that you like things. Like, I mean, even like
that I'm actually a nerd, not just
yeah,
a
no, I know
very,
you're just like
critical
no,
person.
it's because you collect knowledge. But sometimes it's just like, man, I feel like you're watching Star Wars just so later you can argue about why you didn't like it or something.
No,
Like,
no.
no, it's good. It makes me happy.
But no, like I had issues with, like, obviously everyone had issues with Bane's voice when that movie
No,
came out.
I liked it.
No, but the general consensus.
Oh yeah, people
that
had
was
a hard
an
time
issue,
hearing it
yeah.
and stuff. But no, I like Bane's voice. I like Tom Hardy in this.
Yeah, no,
What I don't like in
No,
what is-
I like his accent. I like everything. I'm talking about the audio quality.
Yeah, no, but I still I liked that part of it. I liked
Yeah.
his like
Muffledness.
weird echoey kind of like into a mic weirdness, even though it's not into a mic thing. What I didn't like.
All I can think about is South Park. Hello, Mr. UPS man.
No, it sounds good, but it's weird to have someone have too long speeches that are all mic on your face when I can't see your fucking mouth moving. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Granted, liked those speeches, but it was just weird to film.
At no point do I feel like that needed to be Tom Hardy. I mean, it could have been anybody. Because, yeah, the speeches were
Now,
muffled.
Tom Hardy's a character actor.
I guess in that's...
Anyone know what Tom Hardy sounds like by him fucking like?
No,
outside
man,
of a
I watched
movie?
fucking 60% of The Revenant, and I didn't even know it was him till.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Tom
That
Hardy
guy
actually
does some crazy shit.
sounds really British. Really
Well, he
cocky.
is British, but I think or from Wales or something. But still, it's weird to have someone talk on screen where you can't see his lips move.
Okay, Anne Hathaway, in my opinion,
Kind of hot.
total babe.
Well-
But that character was shit.
No, she's got her eyes are fucking slanty or something. It's weird.
No,
with her
she's
face.
sexy, but
But
that
yeah,
character was shit.
She's hot as fuck in that.
Yeah, we talked.
It was
about
just
the
dumb
MacGuffin
Catwoman.
thing,
Catwoman
yeah.
shouldn't be dumb.
Yeah, I didn't understand the motivation. The
And
whole
Bruce
thing-
Wayne should not be attracted to a character like that.
I'm fine with him being weirdly attracted to someone who has the same problem with their running away from something or like have an alternate personality.
They
type
just
splitting.
didn't build that up enough.
They didn't do a good job explaining why. The whole fucking Alfred thing. Well, I don't even know where to start with the problems I hated with this movie. I really don't. The Alfred
end?
describing like him crying and leaving, powerful scene. I liked that scene.
Yeah, I like your ending.
My ending, oh yeah, okay. It's very simply where he just fucking dies and Alfred sits at the thing he describes later and
It's just sad.
is just sad and never sees him and understands the consequences of all the things he's done in his life. Yeah, that's a good ending in my opinion.
Man.
Yeah, praise Alfred like Greg raised up like
No,
he's fighting a bug. Well,
Man, it's springtime and Cody, all the cocoons in our house are fucking hatching spiders, bud. I started
this
killing
is
them.
going to be a problem in our
I
studio
started
here.
killing them, but because they were all white, they were just pure white, and then I started noticing they were going black because like they white, they blended in with the paint.
You know what we need? A bat.
Do we need to rank Spider-Man movies?
But
That's
anyway,
probably
no,
next.
but we're gonna go hunt some spiders later.
So where
All
does
right,
this one
anyway,
stand?
I before we even get to where it's ending, I have
The
to talk
shitty
about
ending,
problems
too.
with this. The ending is terrible. He should have died. Fucking Robin's name shouldn't be fucking Robin.
That name drop at the end was so fucking
why
horrible.
even name drop?
It
I
should have
don't
been.
understand it.
Thanks, Dick.
That warrants, and he's just like, really?
An absolutely awful
like the
ending to a
end.
trilogy.
That's
in my
the
opinion.
bottom of the fucking list. That's the end of the list. It's the worst movie.
You really,
I'll agree.
I can't with
I
good
agree.
conscience give
I
it
agree.
below
No,
Batman
dude.
and Robin.
No, I agree.
fucking-
Just because I liked that one, I want that one to be higher. So
Arnold-
then I agree.
You
that
liked
that,
it because all right. you know
Arnold
what?
Schwarzenegger is better than
If
that
we
movie.
talk it out and you knew it, I can understand that at least Batman and Robin is entertaining because it's bad, and I find pleasant
Chris-
things in it because of its stupidness. Like it's
Chris
ridiculous.
O'Donnell was better than Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I don't know if I can. Better is a perspective thing. If it's like looking at it out of enjoyment,
it's all a perspective.
Yeah, well, I
thing,
know.
Kyle.
I guess if it's out of just enjoyment watching it, I would laugh at Batman versus Robin and have a good time. But
We're not
I
having a good
wouldn't-
time,
I
too.
I don't have a good time watching Batman.
I would
and
have a
Robin.
way better time watching Batman and Robin.
Like,
That's
yeah,
definitely right.
I'm almost down, guys. After this, we can watch.
I have it on VHS.
So we're going.
It's going to
bottom of
get
the list.
chilly in here.
Chris Nolan, one of the greatest directors of all time, is
We're
going to
drunk.
bottom out this list, and you're all okay with this.
Yeah.
So what? He could be
That
the top.
one, for
wait,
sure.
So in Cody on your list, Christian Bale is at the top
All right,
and the bottom.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I won't put up a big fight about this. If we
Nice.
can bottom out this list, if Batman Begins goes above Batman Returns, I'll accept that.
Because above
Because
what?
earlier in the list we have Batman Begins splitting either above or below Returns. If
No.
Begins is above Returns,
You'll let this one sit
let
last?
This sit last.
All right, that's fair with me.
So wait, then
I
that would
agree with
put-
that.
That would put it at second.
No, it'd put it as third for Begins. Right now, we still have one Batman to go.
Whatever. I'm down.
All right,
Because
that's what
I know
that's
what
what we're
I'm
locking
gonna
in.
lose on the next one.
Begins,
Well, see, I haven't said my last yet.
and my last is. I can't believe this is bottoming out the list right now. Oh, sorry. Is Returns Rises. Apparently, I have to learn how to write, but we're good. We got one last movie. Cody, you haven't seen it,
No.
and it is Batman versus Superman: The Dawn of Justice.
Now, it's not my favorite. I'm just taking the lead on this one. It's not my
You go
favorite
ahead.
Batman movie, but it's my favorite portrayal of Batman.
Actually, you're sticking to your guns with this one, eh?
Man, okay. When Ben Affleck was Daredevil, prior to that movie, before that movie, like Kevin Smith was pumping, the Batfleck. Like he was pushing for a Batman to be.
Pushing the Batfleck. Well, I heard he got a single movie.
And I was from way back then. I just think Ben Affleck should be Batman. And then remember earlier on, I was mentioning that list of them putting all the actors who played Batman in their sizes and heights. Michael Keaton being at the bottom. Ben Affleck is like fucking 6'4". He's like 206
This is the Batman
pounds.
you're most attracted to.
That sounds about right, but I mean that's.
But then you think some of my most enjoyable Batmans were the Frank Millers, where Batman had a jaw bigger than his fucking.
his cock.
You want your Batman to be a brute.
But
You also like Pretty Boy Michael Keaton.
I just like Michael Keaton. I don't know, man, but this Ben Affleck was perfect, and it was hard because this was not your classic Bruce Wayne. But in this, though, he's already referring to Bruce Wayne as a character. Like he's.
I actually think this is a good Bruce Wayne interpretation in this movie. Or at least he tries his best to play the stumbling idiot
Oh yeah.
at times. Like, I mean, at least they make a point of showing that in the movie, like him trying to play it off.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
heard
bad
he's kind of a
scene.
drunk in this one.
Well,
that's
they
a
show
they
evidence
fucked
of
that
it.
He's
up.
a drunk though in his own private. Like he pretends to be drunk in public, but he's also drunk
and
when
they
no one
also
else
show
can
him
see.
drinking. Like
You
that
know, like,
doesn't really happen in anything else, right?
Batman's drunk, not just Bruce
Well, wasn't
Wayne.
it in one of Frank Miller's stories where like Gordon makes a joke where Batman always drinks like non-alcoholic drinks?
I don't know. Well, I don't know why Gordon would make that joke. He wouldn't know.
No,
Almost
Gorman
every.
wouldn't. No, I think it was in the Dark Knight, like Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns.
He doesn't know who Batman is.
No, I think
him and Bruce Wayne are talking in the end.
In Dark Knight.
Or they're at least talking about
Maybe in
Bruce Wayne does
It's been
that.
a while since I read the comics, so I would have to look back at it. Anyway, regardless of that,
I'm gonna put this near the top. This is my number one. This is my favorite Batman. I've been waiting for this.
You're putting this one at the fucking top.
Well,
I guess this is hard for me to say because I haven't watched it. But
okay. Again, though, let's narrow down. What are we arguing? The best Batman movie or the best portrayal of Batman?
the best Batman movies. We all know.
But what makes
no, not best portrayal of Batman. Obviously, it's best
It's
Batman
Batman
movies
movies.
because we're not talking about comics or anything.
Absolutely have been discussing best Batman movies, not the portrayals of Batman, or the best
We're
Batman.
talking about
actor.
them as films that we enjoy.
These would be totally differently ranked if it was who acted the best Batman. They would be
yeah, like we're nostalgia and like cheese factor are all included.
Fuck, we have George fucking Clooney beating out.
All right, well then, this
yeah.
movie's still near my top, but you guys go on.
All right,
I got nothing.
No, I know. I'll go on. You obviously have heard my opinion on
we
it,
did a whole episode
and
on
the
it.
two of us describe it like pretty much beat for beat. Ben Affleck does a good job, I think, in this movie. I really don't think he's to blame for the problems in this movie. I don't think it's his acting that brings it back. And that's why if it were, let's rank the best Batmans, he would be near the top, if not the top. Like, I really don't see a lot of faults in his portrayal. This movie is trash, though. If Chris Nolan made fucking mistakes in Dark Knight Rises, as far as a fucking movie is concerned, this fucking picture is a dumpster fire as far as mistakes go.
So you guys are total opposites on this one.
Not on the portrayal of Ben Affleck. I think we're
good.
exactly agreeing on that.
No, but as it being a movie.
As a movie, as a watchable fucking picture,
Guys,
we're probably opposite.
Regardless of the rankings of these Batman movies, I just feel like we understand each other better as friends after this.
It's like ranking.
Like I kind of just like both you guys a little bit more now.
Well, it's been an enjoyable experience.
I kind of like. I might dislike you a little more.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not saying I do. I'm saying I might.
Oh well. How many times do we have to sit in
so
this fucking
how
booth
are we gonna try to split this one?
I don't know, man. Like, this is tough. Let's. You talked about how you like Ben Affleck, but let's talk about the problems with the picture, right? You understand there's flaws in it, right? As a movie goes and pacing, you've taken film classes, you know. This shit's not fucking tight.
And to be honest, like I feel like my vote should be worth something, even though I haven't seen it.
No.
Well then
so I'm automatically gonna cast negative votes towards this.
Kyle has a list. Why don't you just say what your favorite?
Are you saying okay? You're saying it's the best. Are you saying it's the worst? This is what we have to figure out. Where do you think this sits?
All right. Well, it's tough to say because obviously this list is not all of our individual lists, right? We all have differing opinions on this. I wouldn't rank certain things higher than are on here. I wouldn't say it's the worst on this list as far as Batman movies go. It would be fucking impossible for me to call it the best, though.
You know what's cool about this movie?
I would say, if you want to hear my opinion on it, it sits here. My problem with it is its structure as a movie. So it definitely cannot, in my opinion, go above Batman Begins. Because at least Batman Begins has a decent structure as a film. And I could watch it beginning to end without being like, why is this all paced weird as fuck?
Okay, I agree with you on that. I know what you're saying.
It's not as bad as Batman Begins?
No,
it's worse than Batman Begins. Like, as movies go, Batman Begins has pacing. It's structurally sound.
There's a start and an end.
Or where's Batman Begins sitting right now?
Batman Begins right now sits at number 3. I don't think it can possibly go.
No, so I'm thinking it has to be below half.
Okay, so
I'm saying probably.
Greg, I'll read them off. You think where it goes, other than number 1, because it's not going number 1.
I'll start off with 4.
So it's Dark Knight, 1989. So that's Tim Burton's first Batman. Batman Begins, Batman Returns. That's Tim Burton's second Batman. Batman Forever. I would be okay with
if
it
was
going
after
Forever or after Forever. I don't have the nostalgia for it, obviously.
Let's put
Forever
it
is
before
not fucking
Forever.
perfect.
Just because I'll give the negative points.
You're saying it's below Forever.
Yeah. And I'll be fair with that.
All right.
Even though I've
We're, like,
never
trading
seen it.
points.
No, well, it's weird. All right. We'll put it here for now. And I'll read it off. And then we're going to really dispute if we have any arguments as to where this list stands. And I'll start from the bottom to the top, all right?
All right, from
The
the bottom to the top.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Is the worst
Yeah.
Batman
We
movie.
We're going with that. That's
we agree.
super fucking surprising, if I'm being honest. And I wouldn't say it's the worst.
So you don't agree with
It's
that?
the most disappointing. Absolutely. And so that's why I'll accept it as the worst. Because I was...
See, it was the Cop 2 trilogy.
There was super high fucking expectations.
Yeah, and it's
literally bottom to
where
top to bottom.
where George Clooney. I don't think there was much expectation.
And I was a kid, so I
Yeah,
didn't really
exactly.
care. All right, next one, George Clooney, Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, the 1966 Batman.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
'cause
I
I've-
think we're getting our nerd points in there.
Yeah, those two movies, I think they could flip flop back and forth. Like that's an interchangeable slot.
Yeah, I think these next three really kind of fit that. So the Batman versus Superman is the next on the list.
Well, it's starting. It's
Oh, sorry,
kind of
but
all
I-
make.
yeah,
it's
that's
all
what
making
I'm-
sense to me, kind
So
of.
that's gonna be like the third from the bottom.
It's right in the middle. It's number 5, basically. It's
It
fourth
hasn't
from
had
the bottom.
time to prove itself,
Or it's fourth in either direction, or fifth. Sorry. No, well.
and it
oh,
got
no.
very negative ratings.
The
so.
next is Batman Forever, right above Batman vs Superman. So
Sounds good to me.
Have you not only said 4 Batman movies right now?
I said Rises, Batman vs Robin, 1962. Batman vs Superman would have been 4. This one 5. Sorry, Batman Forever would be the middle.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
Yes.
it's all making sense to me.
next is Batman. Oh, sorry, Batman Returns is next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Then Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then the 1989 Tim Burton Batman. And rounding at the very top is The Dark Knight.
I'm actually really happy with that list.
Yeah.
Can we agree on this and actually be okay with it?
I
As
would,
an
I would put
overall?
up an argument at the bottom, but I'm fine with where it stands. Those two bottom movies have an equal right in my mind of one being god awful and the other really being a giant disappointment to me. Like, one as a kid, I enjoyed because I was a dumb kid, and as an adult, I look back at it as being funny because it was terrible. But the other one, as an adult, I look back on and being, it's not
But
funny.
you'll never,
you fucked up the
you'll
whole
never
thing.
care for it.
Yeah,
Where at
I
one
won't-
point
I
you did
won't.
care for the other.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of cool how we did settle on something.
All right, so we'll run through it. This is the official list for 2 versus 3. Is everybody stand
Yeah,
on this?
it's the GOAT.
The GOAT. Number 9, sorry. Dark Knight Rises. Number 8, Batman and Robin. Number 6, the 1966 Batman. Or sorry, not number 6. Number 7. I should probably have done it the other way. Batman versus Superman. Right above that. No, I'm just having to number them so I can make this easier on myself. All right, never mind. Fuck it. The GOAT. That's the important thing, I guess. Everyone laugh at me for fucking. My list is scribbles. It's a scribbles, guys. I wasn't actually paying attention at all.
Batman.
The number one is Star Wars. Star Wars one, number 1.
And Darth Vader is my favorite Batman.
He was mine too.
Either way, we'll probably post the list on bmoviesandebooks.com.
No, I will ring down the list. It was hard to do it from the bottom to the top.
Not sure where this episode will air yet. It will definitely air on our YouTube channel.
No, we'll put it on. Well, who knows, I guess. All right, the greatest of all time, anyway, as far as Batman live-action films go, undisputed by 2 versus 3. Well, kind of disputed by Greg. It's The Dark Knight.
And we've been
Dark
sitting
Knight.
here, and I was staring at some pine trees. Sun was out. Now it's just black at the window. It's dark.
Dark Knight, 1989's Batman, Batman Begins, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, 1966. Or no, sorry, Batman vs Superman.
I really hope.
1966 Batman and Robin, and Dark Knight Rises. That's the rank from top to bottom.
That's it.
I hope that when
wrote it
Cody
that way
edits
and
this,
I read backwards.
that list that Kyle was reading is Seal, Kissed by a Rose, is playing over it.
What?
The end.
All right, we'll accept that the theme song of Batman is "Kissed by a Rose," right?
Yeah.
Sure.
This episode should fade out to that song.
I compare you to a kiss from a rose. I don't know.
Ah, man.
I don't know the rest.
I wish we knew how. Can we hum it out?
No, I'll just play the song. I don't think we need to scare the listeners away in the final seconds of the episode.
We probably could have cut this a long time ago, but we're this is 2 versus 3, and our very first episode of 2 versus 3 presents the GOAT.
The greatest of all time.
So I have been your host, Kyle. With me today is Greg
Hanging out under the bridge.
and Cody.
Hey, have a good night, everybody.
Were those both goat things? No, but I said under the.
The podcast you just heard is part of the B&E Network, brought to you by bmoviesandebooks.com.